How's it going, guys? Today we are taking a look at the brand new Doug Aldrich signature head from Blackstar, the DA100 Ruby. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you very much to Blackstar Amps for sponsoring this video. The DA100 is the first Doug Aldrich signature amp ever, and it is modeled after the Blackstar HT Stage 100 Mark III, which I demoed in the summer of 2023. You can watch that video just up there. So I'm gonna walk you through the specs, and honestly, most of this video is just going to be playing and showing off the various different features. Just as a quick disclaimer, due to the fact that this is a 100 watt head, although I can scale it down to 10 watts, I'm going to be playing using Doug Aldrich's signature CabRig settings, if you like, rather than close miking it, but simply for volume reasons. It's loaded with EL34 power valves, and looking on the front here, it's actually really simple to use. The initial HT Stage 100, which this is modeled after, had a lot more going on. This has been slightly stripped down to suit Doug's specifications. You've got 3 channels with 2 voices for each. You get a clean channel, which you see on the end here, which is really clean before you engage the second voice. It starts out in life as your really flat American sounding clean amp, and then when you kick the voice switch in, it gets a little bit more hairy and resembles more of a British sounding amp. So there's increased mid-range and it's a little crunchier. Moving over to the 2 overdrive channels, each one is very similar to one another, except OD1 is a little smoother and would resemble your heavy rock rhythm channel. And when you kick the extra voice in, it goes from being a vintage voicing or a more classic voicing, to use Blackstar's wording, to a more modern voicing. And then OD2 is a similar thing, but that is far hairier and definitely would resemble your lead channel. And as far as I'm concerned, OD2 is, this sounds like a really dumb remark since it's a signature amp, but it is literally the Dead Daisies sound. It's literally plug in and go. You don't have to turn in the dials very much in either direction. You can start off completely flat and you're sounding like probably the last 2 Dead Daisies albums pretty much to a T. OD1 and OD2 share the same 3-band EQ, bass, middle and treble. You also get the patented ISF feature, which is Blackstar's unique dial on their amps. So turn it all the way to the right, it resembles a British voiced amplifier. Turn it all the way to the left, it is an American sounding amp. And the whole point is you blend between the two. I'll demonstrate that as we go. You get a reverb built in, which is great. On the back, there's a button where you can control between dark and light reverb. It's essentially a toggle between plate reverb and room reverb. At the moment, it's set to a room reverb. Moving over to the other side here, you've got your master controls. You get a resonance to increase the thump in the low end, presence to give you that extra extended range of top end, and a master volume. But also, a very important feature in this amp, I find, you also get power reduction from 100 watts all the way down to 10 watts. On the back of the amp, you find everything you'd expect to see from an amp in today's age. Effects loop send and return, foot switch input. The amp actually comes with a 5-way foot switch, which I'm not currently using for today's demo because the amp's right here. You also get various different speaker output options. So for today's demo, I'm using Doug Aldrich's custom CabRig patches, which come pre-installed into the amp. Just to get into some sounds on the Ruby, I'm starting off with the clean channel. I've already dialed in a sound that I like, and I'm going to toggle between the 2 voices. Then for the British voice there, I'm also on CabRig Option 3 as well of Doug settings. That's my favorite. Big difference. Just so you can hear that again. American voice. British. Sounds just like the Dead Daisies album, I've got to admit. Awesome. Sticking with CabRig Selection 3, we're going on to the overdrive channel, starting off with OD1. This would be more your classic overdrive that you'd use for rhythm, and then when you kick the modern voicing in, it's just another shade of the same channel there. And I'll toggle through the ISF and various little EQ options so that you can hear it. I've also got a little bit of in-amp reverb dialed in too. Here we go. There I slid ISF all the way to the American side there. If I move it over to the British side, listen to the difference. It's a lot more scooped. Geez, you know when you can't decide whether to do legato or picking for a second? All right, let's move over and tweak the EQ. It's amazing how much of a difference the mid-range, once you start to push it, gives it a lot more body. Let's go over to the second voicing. So. Again, that's really nice. Let's move over to overdrive 2. absolutely beastly. It's so good. And you've got here, I've kept the ISF in the middle and the main master controls where they are as well, just for balance here. I really love the saturation in this tone as well. It's really got a lot of girth to it. I can live there all day. Just to wrap up the demo, I'm going to show you the other CabRig options. I've been doing the whole demo using CabRig 3. These are Doug Aldrich's presets when you access the amp. So I'm just going to do one chord and you can hear the difference. Number 3 is a lot more sizzling. Number 2 is very different. Now, CabRig number 1, here we go. One and two are way smoother. I think if you want to really make them poke out, you dial up the mids and the presence a little bit more to allow them to cut through. To conclude, the DA100 Ruby is a brilliant amp, in my opinion. I really wish I could keep this. This isn't sponsorship talk in this case or anything like that. This thing fits the bill for me perfectly from a Blackstar amp head. It's quite minimal in terms of the front panel. The OD1 and OD2 channels sound just right for me. You get Doug's CabRig settings straight out of the box. You don't have to tweak anything to make it sound just like him, which I really love, which is great for anybody who wants to buy one of these, because you're gonna be a serious Doug Aldrich fan to get one. And to marry it up with all of the functionality and everything you get on the back panel, it packs a serious punch in terms of price point. It's way cheaper than I thought it would be. It retails, as of the time of recording, $1249 in the UK. Plus, it's a very different looking Blackstar amp as well. Most of them, of course, are black. This is obviously in this really beautiful ruby red finish. And obviously it's called Ruby after Doug Aldrich's daughter, which I think is really rather cool too. Definitely give it a look, because it is a seriously cool, powerful, pack a punch, I keep saying that today, amp head. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you very much for watching this video, you guys. I hope you've liked what you've seen. Thank you very much to Blackstar once again for sending this head out to try. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.